Yeah. Let's play that one more time. Dun 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 dun. Boom, ba-dum, 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 boom. Da 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 da. Boom, 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 boom. Hell yeah! Welcome back to another episode of the J Youngblood Experience. And if you know that song, you are in turmoil right now. You are so unhappy to be a Georgia fan. You are so unhappy to be a Bulldogs fan. Welcome to another episode of the J Youngblood Experience. And yes, a lot of you are going to talk to me. And you're going to talk shit. You're going to tell me LSU lost. We did lose. But we lost to the same team that you motherfuckers lost to. So it don't fucking matter. It don't. Georgia fucking lost. And we're about to tell you why. About to tell you why. Excuse me. Why Georgia lost. Why? I'll tell you why. The O-line, weak as fuck. The linebackers, weak as fuck. And the secondary, weak and soft as fuck. You boys were soft on Saturday, let's just say that. Soft as fuck. And Jackson Dart didn't even need to have a huge game to beat you. He didn't even have to have a big game to beat you. Buddy threw for only 199 yards. Only threw the ball 22 times. One tutty. One interception. Didn't even have to play well. Coming off a 500-yard game last game. Coming into this game. Jackson Dart didn't have to play hard. Jackson Dart didn't have to play well. Y'all lost the game for your damn selves. Play that one more time. Yes, sir. That's another one. Can we hit it? Can we hit it?
Another one. Another one. Another one.
Another one. What is that? That's another loss for the Georgia Bulldogs. Can we tell them real quick?
Got him! Got him!
Another one for the Georgia Bulldogs. And it wasn't pretty. It wasn't a great game. But you can't really... A lot of people already... This is what Georgia fans do, which is odd. Blame their quarterback every loss they have. Now I can say this. If if I was a Georgia fan and I saw my starting quarterback laughing on the sideline as you was getting beat, I'd be pretty upset too. Seeing him on the sidelines smiling and laughing with the other players. And then what's his name was after the game was hugging and partying and playing with other players too. I don't remember his name. Let me see. Georgia players celebrating. Let's see who it was. Jake Pope. Jake Pope celebrating during Ole Miss Field Storm. Kirby Smart called him an idiot. Called him a dumbass, basically. Said he was a dumbass. Called your boy a dumbass, Jake Pope. Jake Pope. You are the dumbass of the week, Jake Pope. Why? Let me tell you. Well, Jake Pope, you just lost to Georgia. 28-10. And then you're on the field. Whether you have played with those cats... I think it was in Buford or not. You just got beat 28-0 by Ole Miss. Your second loss of the season. Your second SEC loss of the season. You're on pace not to make the playoffs, not to make the SEC championship. And what are you doing? You are celebrating on the field. Give it to me. That's not winning mentality. That's not how you do it. Carson Beck was on the sideline also laughing. And then you have Jake Pope on the side after the game, chilling with the entire crowd, partying, celebrating. Just seems like Georgia doesn't get a break. And they drop to 13th? Is 11th? Drop to 11th from 2? Am I mistaken, fellas? Am I mistaken? I don't think so. And it's just a sad thing to see. You come out, thought you could do better, and you simply don't. You play a shitty first half. You're a second half team. That's what a lot of you told me. Remember this. Remember this when I talk. A lot of you told me that y'all were a second half team. Y'all come out flat, and you stay flat the entire game. This is the first loss to Georgia from a team not named Alabama since 2020. I was 19 years old. Give it to me one more time. Jake Pope, there is no reason you should even be laughing, high-fiving, hugging, smiling after a game like this. Not after a game like this. They killed y'all in total yards, 245 to almost 400 by Ole Miss. Passing yards, 260 to 186. Ole Miss again at 260. Rushing yards, you only had 59. $59 rushing yards to their 134, and you only had 3.8 yards per play. Per play, fellas. Tied when y'all come to total plays. Penalties about the same. Fumbles lost 2 by the Georgia Bulldogs.
Got him! Got him!
And then 1 interception throw by Carson Beck. And at time of possession, y'all killed them by almost 10 minutes, but y'all just couldn't break it out. Now, when it goes to player stats, Carson Beck was 20 of 31, 186 yards, 1 interceptions, no tutties. Jackson Dart was 13 of 22, 199, 1 tutty, 1 interception. Jackson Dart also led in rushing for Ole Miss at 8 carries, 50 yards. Receiving, Caden Lee of Ole Miss had 4 receptions, 81 yards. And then when you look at your boys on the left, the Georgia Bulldogs, Nate Frazier had 12 carries for 40 and an abysmal 47 yards and 1 tutty. And Dominic Lovett had 4 receptions for 41 yards. And again, Jake Pope, you do in fact get Dumbass of the Week. Can we do it for the boys one more time? And that was it. Jake Pope, you get Dumbass of the Week. There's no reason after a game like that you should be smiling, hugging, laughing, being joyous after the game. And Kirby Smart was right to call you an idiot. He didn't understand why the hell you did it. I think you already gave an apology on Instagram. But celebrating after a loss like that, you deserved to be called not only an idiot by Kirby Smart, but Dumbass of the Week. Play it one more time for me. Just like that. You get Dumbass of the Week because you're a dumbass for what you did. Congratulations, Georgia. You have your second loss of the season. How does it feel? I know it doesn't feel too good because I can't remember the last time Georgia had a 2-loss season. I'm going to look that up too. Last time Georgia had a 2-loss season. Last time. Let's take a look. Let's take a look. Let's look. the hell? Google, I hate you. Google's no damn good. I don't fucking know. Who cares? But y'all have a 2-loss season. I'm not waiting on Google to fuck with me right now. But a 2-loss season, so play it for him, DJ Khaled.
Another one. Another one. Another one.
Yes, you have 2 losses on the season. You are currently ranked. Is it? I want to say it's fucking. Let's look. I think you're 11th, right? Dropped from number 2 to number 11. You in Miami dropped, baby. And look at that. Texas back at 3. Ohio State at 2. And Oregon, who I believe has the best offense in college football right now, sitting at number 1 still. And I don't see them losing anytime soon. And I mean anytime soon. They play Wisconsin next weekend in Washington. This team is going to end the season undefeated, fellas. Undefeated. Now, looking at Georgia's schedule. Georgia, you have Tennessee at home next week. You can't cough that one up, brother. You can't. You cannot cough that one up to Tennessee. You're playing at home. This is not something you should do. Will you do it? I don't think so. I don't think Tennessee has a good enough team to beat y'all, especially not at home. But then you ease it out on the schedule. You got UMass next after Tennessee and then Georgia Tech. Now let's get into why Georgia lost. Obviously not great QB play by your quarterback, but again, he started off by having 2 good passes. The defense came out and got a pick on the first drive and a sack on that same drive. But what happened from there is absolutely amazing. You folded. You absolutely fucking folded in front of everyone. You folded. You couldn't deal with the Ole Miss atmosphere. Your linebackers were just too soft. Every play action pass, they were biting on the run. Every time. Go back and watch the film. Every time they crash down. And then that leaves the middle of the field wide fucking open. Your O-line looked like shit. Carson Beck couldn't get a ball off. And Mike Bobo refused to throw the ball downfield. He only wanted to throw these little short in routes, or he wanted to throw little wide receiver screens or halfback screens. And that's the reason you lost. Too conservative, not good enough QB play or play calling, in matter of fact. And your linebackers and secondary were just too fucking soft in this game. Too soft. One time they lined up a slow-ass linebacker on a slot receiver, and what happened? I think it was like a 30-yard gain. So play it just one more time for me. You lost, and you have a big game coming up against number 6 Tennessee. And you cannot lose that game. You can't. You can't lose that game. 3 losses and you're out. It's done. 3 losses and you're out. Tennessee only has 1 loss currently, so I believe if we're looking at SEC standings, are they number 1 currently in the SEC? They are. They indeed are. Number 1 in the conference, followed by Texas A&M, Texas, and Georgia. Wow. What a great week for college football. What a great week. You love to see it. You love to see Georgia go down and people shutting the fuck up. You love to see it. I love to see it. Georgia fans, you may not like it, but, you know, it is what it is. You got to take it, swallow your pride. And Jake Pope, you are Dumbass of the Week. Dumbass of the Week. One more time for me. Jake Pope, you are Dumbass of the Week. That's weak football. That shows you where the mentality of that team is. They're not the same as in past years. And not as I would think they would be. I want to say they're just as talented, but it's not showing up. But anyways, shout out to the Bulldogs. Go Dogs, baby. Anyways, let's get into this Florida-Texas game. And if any of you even got a glimpse of this game, you know that Florida got absolutely demolished. It wasn't a game. Let's just say that. It wasn't a game. Was not a game at all. Florida got absolutely obliterated. I think the second quarter was 35-0. Fucking hell. Aiden Warner of the Florida Gators was 12 of 25, 132 yards, 2 interceptions. Jacoby Jackson had 19 carries, 116 yards, and 1 tutty. That's not a bad play sheet right there. Jacoby Jackson of the Florida Gators. And then Chamir Dyke, 5 receptions, 95 yards of the Florida Gators. But what we really want to see, what's going on with Quinn Ewers. Quinn Ewers was 19 of 27, 333 yards, and 5 tutties. 5. Jarrett Gibson, 16 carries, 100 yards, 1 tutty. That's a good stat line. And then receiving for the Texas Longhorns was Jaden Blue with 3 receptions and 67 yards. And like I said, at one point, Texas was up, actually in the third quarter, up 42-0. And then obviously Florida came back and trash time, put a couple touchdowns up, a couple field goals. It ended up it being 49-17. And I feel for Florida fans. I really do. I really do feel for Florida fans. How could you not? After watching this game, I mean, with the amount of talent on that team and your 2 quarterbacks going down, what do you see from here? Honestly, best scenario, get Billy the fuck out of town. Get him out of Gainesville. You don't need him there. He sucks. He's not a good coach. He hasn't done anything recruiting-wise that's been up to standard. He's also not winning games for you. Not winning games at all. Your team doesn't look good. They haven't in the past 10 years, maybe. And they just don't look good. Let's look at Billy Napier's record for win by in Florida. Billy Napier, current record of 12-16, which is the worst percentage by a Florida coach during their tenure since Raymond Wolf, who coached from 1946 to 1949. My God. Holy shit. Jesus. I mean, I feel for you, Florida fans. I really do. Really not a good team. Coaching, offensively, defensively, just not good. And not only do you play Texas at Texas, and you play LSU at home next week. And I'll tell you one thing. We're going to bust that ass. We're going to put belt to ass next week and bust that ass. What's crazy is you got to play LSU, and then you got to play Ole Miss, and then Florida State. These last couple games have been rough, bro. You had to play Georgia, you had to play Texas, now you got to play LSU and then Ole Miss. God bless you. This team, they don't learn nothing from this fucking season. It's that whoever made the schedules absolutely hate them. Can't stand them. Absolutely can't stand them if you're looking at what I'm seeing. Terrible. And then if you look at the Longhorns, I mean, all they have upcoming is Arkansas, Kentucky, and Texas A&M. And if they're able to win out with only 1 loss, obviously they can make the playoffs, and they can also make the SEC championship. And we may get, which is crazy, we may get 2 teams out of Texas going to the SEC championship. That's wild. Absolutely insane. We may get that in the upcoming couple weeks. We may just get that for sure. So what's next for the Florida Gators? I say, in my opinion, what I would do is get rid of Billy Napier, close up shop with him, and try to get Deion Sanders down there. Not saying Deion will have the best success and win a ton of games, but he'll bring football back to Florida. He'll bring football back to Florida. He will recruit very, very well, especially in Florida, all of South Florida, going up all into North Florida, Georgia, Alabama, Louisiana. He will recruit very well, and they will give that man deep pockets to grab whoever the fuck he wants. And I truly think he would do well in Florida. A lot of people probably don't like that, but he would bring a atmosphere and environment back to Florida that football is key. Football is number 1, not basketball, not tennis, not fucking yoga, not ballerina, not any of that. Not academics, Bring back football for the Florida Gators. Make Florida football great again. Make Florida football great again. Which hasn't been since, 2012? If that, they haven't been good in over a decade. 12 years. So it's been pretty rough for Florida fans. I understand. I get it. You're probably all pretty frustrated, but shit, man. What can you do? I mean, you start loading pockets up is what you need to do. Get Dion over. Let him do his thing. And you'll be good to go. In my opinion. Get it going. Get Billy Napier the fuck out of Dodge. Because he's not doing anything for your program but making y'all look worse and worse every week. And that just... I feel for you, Florida fans. I really do. I really do. Do I care? No, I really don't. But I feel for you. There are a lot of good Florida fans out there who, even when they're good, they're the same. When they suck, they're the same. But this is just, seeing this is crazy. Getting into the next game, which was the upset of the week by far. Upset of the week goes to Miami, Florida versus Georgia Tech. Now, Miami had to take a trip to Atlanta and play the Yellow Jackets. And, well, despite the fact that Cam Ward played his balls off again, they did take an L. They, in fact, did take an L. Their quarterback only had 67 yards passing, 1 touchdown. And I'm talking about Georgia Tech. Haynes King had 20 carries for 93 yards and 1 touchdown. Malik Rutherford had 4 receptions, 28 yards, and 1 touchdown. You don't expect that stat line to show up as a win. When you look at these stat lines when it comes to passing, rushing, and receiving yards, you're like, how the hell did Georgia Tech win? Cam Ward, 25 of 34, 348 yards passing and 3 TDs, no interceptions. Damian Martinez, 15 carries, 81 yards. That's not bad. Jacoby George, 7 receptions, 88 yards. And, I mean, if you're watching the game, you're confused, or you're seeing these stat lines, you're confused. Because you don't know how Georgia Tech won. Especially in total yards. Miami, you absolutely murdered them. 436 yards total compared to 370. Georgia Tech didn't even throw for over 90 or 100 yards. And then you look at Miami's passing yards, 350. Rushing, Miami only had 88 compared to Georgia Tech's 271. And per carry, they were at 5.8 versus 6.9 of Miami. First downs, Miami won. Third down conversions, Miami won. Actually, no, they didn't. Tech was 9 of 14. Damn. Total plays, they were about the same. Punts, Georgia Tech had more. Fumbles lost, only 1 by Miami, 0 by Tech, and 0 interceptions by Tech. They just scored more points. They had more plays that resulted in touchdowns, which is crazy to think about looking at Cam Ward's stats. And like I said, Georgia Tech only threw the ball 10 times. If that, I think that's it, 10 times, 10 passes. That's just crazy to me. Looking at the box score, you would like, oh, well, if you didn't see the total score, right? And you only look at the stats, you would think Miami won 47-2. But no. Somehow, some way, Georgia Tech scored a touchdown in every quarter. Just one. Just one. And somehow the Miami Hurricanes did not put enough points up to beat this team. And shout out to my boy Simeon Barrow, defensive end for Miami University. I'm going to have to talk to him and see what he saw whenever breaking down the game and whatnot. But there's no way a 6-4 Georgia Tech team who barely throws the ball should beat a Miami team who could put a ton of points up at any given time. It must have been, I want to say it was the atmosphere probably that kind of slowed him down, but Cam Ward didn't turn the ball over, not even once from what I'm seeing. So it's just weird it's just weird. Like I said, this college football this year has been absolutely weird, especially with teams you would think that would win, like Miami versus Georgia Tech, and then they end up losing, especially with the amount of stats they put up. It was absolutely insane. Georgia Tech didn't do shit. My bad. They threw the ball for 16 times. 16 times. Only 16 times. 16 times with 2 tutties. I'm taking that all day, brother. Taking that all day. I'm taking that all day, bro. All day. 2 tutties is rushing, 2 tutties is receiving. I'm taking that every day, bro. But somehow Georgia Tech came out on top. What can you say? My brother was calling this team out for a while. Miami, that is. And saying they were soft. And you could see in games where, you know, they played like that. I think last week where they almost lost to... No, it was 3 weeks ago when they played Louisville. And it was 52-45. Obviously, I want to say their DBs are just too soft up front. And they're just giving up too many plays. Almost lost to Virginia Tech, too. It was 38-34. Same thing with Cal. Same thing with Louisville. Duke put up 31 on them. And then you go to this game here and go to Georgia Tech and lose 28-23. And you dropped. You dropped heavy. With one loss, it's crazy how much they dropped. But obviously, they're going to take the strength of schedule as well as who you lost to. And that's how they added it up. And I'm going to have to rewatch that game again to see exactly what happened. But that's crazy to have that many yards on passing and rushing and then not be able to come out with more points. It doesn't make sense, really, truly, especially with no interceptions, only 1 fumble lost. You don't expect to lose a game like that. A damn near perfect game by your offense and you lose. Just doesn't make sense. But shout out to Miami. I still think you're going to win the ACC. Like I said about Clemson, very often they're fraudulent. They're not that good of a team, which we saw in the past weeks. I still think Miami wins the ACC and gets into the playoffs. I think they have, let me see, who do they have coming up? I know they have Wake Forest and then Georgia. So depending on that Georgia game, we'll see what happens. But I still, either way, I think if they're going to beat Wake Forest, I think Georgia takes them out. Obviously, Georgia takes them out, and then they go out with 2 losses, win the ACC, and get in the playoffs. I 100% believe that. I think they'll play Clemson in the ACC championship. Which, no, I'm wrong. SMU was 5-0 in conference. That's crazy. Wow, that's wild. Wow, there's some shit because Miami's 3rd in the ACC right now. Wow, SMU is still 8-1. Okay, 0 losses in conference. That's going to be wild by the end of the year. Wow, but yeah, I still think that Miami wins the ACC. I don't see why not, but I think Miami wins the ACC and gets into the playoff. Now let's get into this Colorado Texas Tech game. I want to let everyone know currently that Colorado is currently 7-2. Colorado is currently 7-2. And shout out to Shedeur Sanders. Shout out to Travis Hunter. Shout out to Shiloh Sanders. This team is not bad, bro. I mean, comparatively to the teams they're playing, they're not bad teams. Obviously, they played a top 10 team. They would lose, and I think by a great margin. But Shedeur Sanders, 30 of 43. 291 yards and 3 touchdowns. Not a lot of rushing yards by their starting running back, Isaiah Auguste, but 10 carries, 32 yards. Travis Hunter, 9 receptions, 99 yards, and a tutty. And we're looking at team stats. Team stats, Texas Tech beat them 388-351. Probably because of the abysmal rushing. They didn't have a lot of run game in this game. Passing yards, they beat them 291 to 275. Rushing yards, Texas got them at 113 to 60. Yards per play, guess what? Colorado had more. Third down efficiency, Texas Tech was 50%, and Colorado was 2 of 13. Fourth down, they were 1 of 1. Total plays, they got beat 70 to 57. Punts, Colorado had more. Penalties, 106 yards of penalties against Colorado, only 80 yards against Texas Tech. But the big thing is probably going to be the 2 fumbles by Texas Tech with the 1 interception thrown as well. And Colorado comes out on top. I think that Travis Hunter should be at the top of the leaderboard. Him and Jonte, whatever the fuck his name is, from Boise State. I think easily, with him being a cornerback and a wide receiver playing 100 snaps a game. That's never been seen since Deion Sanders. So something needs to happen to where everybody understands that Travis Hunter's out here balling. Travis Hunter is out here balling, and people need to put some respect on his name. I know my guy from Boise State is balling too. I get it. But he's also not playing as many snaps as Travis Hunter at the same rate, at the same athleticism, at the same amount. The dude is getting like 100 snaps a game, defense and offense. How could we not give it to him? When have we seen this ever since Deion Sanders? We haven't. We haven't seen a two-way player like this in a very long time. I placed my pick on Travis Hunter. We've never seen anything like this. Give my man his flowers and just go on with your life. Stop making it hard. It's not a hard decision. Give it to my mans. Give it to my mans. He deserves it. He deserves to have that. No other player you know of is doing that. So give it to him. Give it to him real quick. Give it to him. All right. Since we have to talk about college football, we'll talk about my Tigers playing the Crimson Tide. And I also have one more dumbass of the week, and I'm going to tell you who that is. Give it to me. Myself, Jacob Youngblood, J Money, Young Pablo. He is also a dumbass of the week. Why is he dumbass of the week? I'll tell you why. Jay Youngblood has been talking shit all season, and I mean all season, about how good LSU was going to be, how good the Dallas Cowboys want to be, and both of these teams are just not good. One is better than the other when it comes to competition they've been playing. One just absolutely sucks in the Dallas Cowboys. But Dumbass of the Week also goes to Jacob Youngblood because he is an LSU fan, because he is a Dallas fan, and both teams won't be doing anything this year. LSU won't be going to the national championship, let alone the playoffs or the SEC championship, and the Dallas Cowboys are currently 3-6 with no hope in sight. We currently suck. We're not good. We're going to tank and try to get a good draft pick, but we absolutely suck. We don't deserve to win. We don't even deserve to have a team. I think the team should absolutely demolish the stadium and just give up. We suck. Mike McCarthy, you suck. Jerry Jones, you suck. Stephen Jones, you suck. Dak Prescott, you suck. CD Lamb, you suck. Micah Parsons, you suck. Ezekiel Elliott, you suck. Rico Dowdle, you suck. Trayvon Diggs, you suck. This team just absolutely fucking sucks. LSU, Garrett Nussmeier can't throw to his own team. We can't run the ball. Defense is too soft. We're a first half team, then we let it go in the second half. We get our absolute balls raped every week, and it's just another football season where both of mine, Jay Youngblood's teams absolutely stink, and I have to live through another football season where I get to talk about shit about the Georgia Bulldogs every week. But guess what? Both of my teams absolutely stink. So there you go. Jay Youngblood and Jake Pope are both dumbasses of the week because we simply suck. We suck. Give it to them now.
Got him!
Yes, I gave dumbass of the week to myself. Okay? This is how it's been with losses all seasons for both my teams. This is all I get.
Another one. Another one. Another one.
Dumbass of the week, Jake Pope and Jacob Youngblood, brought to you by the Augusta Hemp Company. The Augusta Hemp Company for all your pre-rolled hemps, CBD, K9, as well as liquid needs, and that means tequila, that means bourbon, that means agave, that means any type of mixer you need. And they also have gummies if you need those as well, and that's brought to you by the Augusta Hemp Company, by both your dumbasses of the week, Jacob Youngblood, as well as Jake Pope. Give it to me. But there's hope for me. There is hope. And what is that hope? Well, I'm gonna tell you. Play it for me. And why is that hope? Because if Georgia doesn't make it, then I'm a happy camper. But I wanted LSU to make it. And if Ohio State doesn't make it as well and they lose, it'll also be a good week, a good month, a good year. But for all you Georgia fans who are going to say these things, these words, you care more about our team losing than you care about your team winning. False again. False again. You're wrong. Play the song one more time. And listen, I don't care about Georgia losing. It just makes me happy. I don't hate Georgia as an organization or even in college. I don't hate most Georgia fans. It's the Georgia fans that really get on my nerves, and that's why I play this song. Boom. Because y'all are so obnoxious, so dumb, so just lack of football knowledge gets on my nerves. The fact that I have grown men when I go downtown parking at me like on all fours makes me sick to my stomach. Seeing you win makes me sick to my stomach, not because of the organization. Kirby Smart's the best coach in college football. Carson Beck, I like the guy. He's a good quarterback. But you fans, play it one more time for me. Just like that. Can't stand you. But let's get into this game. Let's talk about it. I know everybody wants to hear me talk about it, and I will. Fuck it. I don't care. Listen, I'll tell you right now. Garrett Nussmeier cannot throw to his team. He just can't do it. He has a lot of potential, but can't throw to his team. 27 of 42, 239 yards, 1 touchdown, and 2 interceptions. Jalen Milroe didn't do much when it comes to passing. Now, when it comes to rushing, he killed us. He was 12 of 18 on passing, 109 yards. This is where it gets interesting. Jalen Milroe had 12 carries, 185 yards, and 4 touchdowns. Let me say that one more time for everybody who didn't hear that. The people in the back of the car, in the back of the building where you're listening. Jalen Milroe had 12 carries, 185 yards, and 4 tutties. Maybe you didn't hear me. He had 12 carries, 185 yards, and 4 tutties. He didn't have to throw the fucking ball. My man was on his feet running. We couldn't stop a nosebleed when it comes to Jalen Milroe. He looked like Mike Vick in the 04 03 Madden game. You do a little play action pass and run out to the side and it's tutties all day. My guy balled out against this weak ass, dumbass defense. That's all I have to say. Garrett Nussmeier, you need to throw to your team. It was quite clear because they were wearing red jerseys. We were wearing white, as we do at home. And we lost. But shout out to Kyron Lacey. You were still a dog with 5 receptions, 79 yards, and 1 touchdown. Caden Durham, 8 carries, 63 yards, not great. And Jamari Miller of Alabama, 5 carries and 50 yards. It wasn't a close game, guys. Folks, it was not a close game. It was not. Give it to me. I'm a dumbass of the week. Give it to me. Dumbass of the week, Jacob Youngblood. Why? Because he likes teams that suck. He likes teams that just don't. He likes teams, for example. Let's just say the past 2 years. Dallas Cowboys make it to the playoffs, losing first round. LSU last year had the best quarterback in all of college football, even now,
solely because you see how Jaden Daniels is playing, or Caleb fucking Williams from the fucking Bears. Jaden Daniels is still better than him. He was better than him in college as well, and we only won 8 games. This year, again, we are 7-3, or 6-3 actually. Fuck me, 6-3, and we got absolutely demolished by an Alabama team that looks like they're on a fucking warpath. Fucking warpath. Killed us in yardage, almost 100 more. 420 versus 343. Passing yards 109 to 239. So we rushed the ball passed the ball pretty well. Rushing 311 to 104. And they had 6 yards per play. Everything else is just simple. First downs were damn near the same. Third downs, fourth downs, total plays, punts 2-2. Penalty yards 74 yards to 65 yards, both 7 penalties. Fumbles lost. This is where it gets funny. Fumbles lost 1 by LSU. Guess who that was by? Garrett Nussmeier. 2 interceptions thrown by Garrett Nussmeier. He turned the ball over 3 times. Did not play a good game against probably what could have been his best game. He played shit. He played like shit. And Brian Kelly, you haven't done anything better from last year to this year. You're about the same. And you had better talent last year, which is absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. And here we go, losing to Alabama again. You were not good against top 5 opponents or even a team named Alabama. You were simply not good at beating these teams. You're not. So who's the dumbass of the week? Jacob Youngblood. Because he likes shitty teams. Dallas Cowboys and LSU Tigers, they both stink. They both suck. Currently, we're ranked 21, and the Dallas Cowboys are at the bottom of their division, probably tied with the New York Giants. So dumbass of the week goes to Jacob Youngblood. So we got 2 this week. You got my man Jake Pope, and you got my man Jacob Youngblood, J Money, Jacob Youngblood, Jacob J Cole, Pablo, Young Pablo, whatever you want to call him. I can't win for losing, man, and I'm tired of hearing about it. I'm tired of talking about it. But listen, one more thing for all of you Georgia fans. Fuck you, Georgia fans. Guess what? We're going to be in the same boat at the end of the season. Y'all not going to have a championship, and we won't either. Congratulations. Good job. I don't give a fuck. Don't give a fuck. Now let's do this fucking Dallas football game. Jesus, I don't even want to talk about it, but I have to talk about it a little bit. Dallas versus the Eagles. Man, it started off close. So close. So close. And then the second half, they let it on us, brother. 14-6 going into the half. And then they put it on us. 14 points scored alone in the third quarter. And they put up 6 points and ended up being 34-6. Go Dallas, right? Go Dallas. Comparing the two, Cooper Rush, you were 13-23 with 40 yards passing, brother. Rico Dowdle, you had 12 carries, 53 yards, and Jake Ferguson, 4 receptions for 24 yards. And that's our best players. They had the best stats this week. Jalen Hurts, 14-20, 202 yards, 2 tutties, and 1 interception. Just Saquon Barkley, 14 carries, 66 yards. And A.J. Brown, we just couldn't cover the guy. 5 receptions, 109 yards. And like I said, they put us on this in the second half. Again, Jerry Jones, fuck you for not doing anything, not only in the draft, but in the preseason or in the offseason as well, and the trade deadline. You traded for a wide receiver who had literally 3 yards receiving, and y'all can quote me on that or something like that. I think it was around that, for a 4th-round pick, and you gave up less for Amari Cooper whenever you traded him away. You were a shit GM to this day, every week, every day, every week, every day, every week, every day. You're terrible. You're awful. You suck. You're not good. Total yards, 348 to abysmal 146. Passing yards, 161 to 49. Rushing yards, 187 to 97. Yards per play, 5.4 to 2.6. First downs, 24 to 11. And this is all Eagles to Cowboys. Total plays, 65 to 56. Sacks allowed, 5 to 3. Punts, 4 to 6. Fumbles lost, 4 for the Dallas Cowboys, 1 for Jalen Hurts. Interceptions throw, 1 for the Cowboys, 1 for Jalen Hurts. Time of possession, 34 minutes to a 26 minutes. Cowboys, you suck. Go ahead and tank. Get some players. Call the season done. Wrap it up. That's all, folks. Get it done with. It's over. The season's done. We suck again. We suck again. How many losses we gonna have every week? Just another one. Another one. Another one. Another one.
Another one. Another one. Another one.
Jerry Jones again. Fuck you. You suck. Terrible at being a GM. This is the worst Cowboys team I've ever seen. In my 23 years of being on this earth, almost 24, this is the worst Cowboys team I have ever seen. With or without Dak, with or without Zeke, with or without CeeDee Lamb, with or without Micah Parsons, with or without DeMarcus Lawrence, with or without Trayvon Diggs, with or without DeRon Bland, with or without Donovan Overshown, with or without Donovan Wilson. We absolutely suck. This is an awful team, and it hurts my heart to say that, but we are terrible. We are pretty bad. Hurts my heart to say it. You see, I got Micah Parsons or Zeke Elliott's jersey right here, Micah Parsons' jersey right here. I got a plaque right here for Micah Parsons, but we absolutely suck. We're terrible. We're not a good team, and we're not going to be for the rest of the season. I don't care if we lose every game. It doesn't matter. Jerry Jones deserves to lose every game. Mike McCarthy deserves to lose every game. We don't deserve to win. We don't. We don't. We don't deserve to win. But let me announce to y'all, the dumbasses of the week is Jake Pope and Jacob Youngblood, both because they're dumbasses, both because they don't know how to make the right decisions. One with Jake Pope partying after the game once they lost to Ole Miss, and Jacob Youngblood for picking shitty teams that lose every week and let him down. And even if they don't lose, they still do some way, something, somehow to upset him and make him not a proud fan. But anyways, Georgia, you still have to play Tennessee. You still have to play Georgia Tech. Tough team. And you still have to play in the SEC Championship. If y'all do make it, that game is over, but you won't make it to the playoffs. This has been another episode of the Jay Youngblood Experience. I want to thank everybody for joining today. And for all you Georgia fans, let's play it one more time. Thank y'all again for listening. This has been another episode of the Jay Youngblood Experience. I appreciate everybody listening who's been around for the ride. This is number 61, episode 61, so I'm really appreciative of everybody who's been supporting and being a part of this. Have a good night, have a good day, and a blessed evening, and even a better morning. Holla.